Here's 3 penny stocks that analysts are telling you to buy right now after you're watching this video in the following week. These come with the biggest price targets. You got your 100%, your 200, 300, and 400% price targets. And after that, I'm going to give you 3 insanely cheap hidden penny stocks that also a ton of gains before last week's close on Friday, including one we talked about on Thursday that went up like 300, 400, it's insanely much. So we're gonna have to cover that one as well again in this video. Anyways, without any further ado, we have a ton of exciting stuff to talk about, so let's just get straight into it. Alright, what's going on? Welcome back, guys. Yeah, we're back with this series that seemed to be everyone's favorite and then it just disappeared out of nowhere. But we're definitely back and we're going to be taking a look at these penny stocks for next week. First off, if you haven't done it already, be sure you're subscribed to the channel. Be sure you're subscribed to Trending Stocks so that you can also get access to this information that can cost up to hundreds of dollars a year daily for free. Trust me, you're going to be a lot better trader for it. Check out the Patreon Discord server to get this information even faster. And let's just get started straight away with the number 1 strong buy penny stock that you should be watching next week. Of course, going in order from least to most gains. So we're starting out with a relatively small one with a 58% upside. This one's interesting. It's called Intellicheck Mobilizia. Their stock ticker is IDN. And even though this stock has been going down and trading flat in the last few months, 4 different 5-star analysts have continued to maintain or initiate buy ratings on this stock. Well, I shouldn't say there's 4 of these. There's actually 1 rating coming from a 4.5-star analyst, but that one still does have a 58% success rate and an average return of 16.40%. So we're getting an all-around strong buy rating for this identity authentication system company that, by the way, only has a market cap of 151 million, classifying it as a very small cap company. And what's making this interesting for such a small cap company is that they have a patented ID verification technology that's used to match the person's face to their identity card, making sure there's no fraud, and it's used by law enforcement and government in Canadian and US jurisdictions. So hey, this finally has nothing to do with the virus, the environment. It's simply an upcoming company that's apparently very good to invest in according to all of these analysts next week. But getting into something that's already a lot crazier, this one's rated for a 224% upside, and it's something else a little bit more mainstream that analysts are telling you to buy, and it's something everybody can obviously get into. These days healthcare is very hot, and we're talking about Sealos Therapeutics. Their stock ticker is SEAL or SEEL. So this is news coming from last week. This $2.65 stock was rated for a $15 price target, meaning an increase of 466% at the current price. So this is a biopharmaceutical company that focuses on the development and advancement of novel therapeutics to address unmet medical needs for the benefits of the patients with central nervous system disorders. So here's the deal. We've also talked about this company in a lot of other videos, and if you've been following the channel, you'll know all about this. So for a large part, what's actually prompting these analysts to upgrade these biotech and healthcare stocks to a buy or a strong buy right now is that there's a bit of a sweet spot right now for companies like this with a very low market cap. For example, this one with a market cap of only 270 million and a negative EPS, which is also important. The EPS is currently at negative 0.58. Combine that with the factor that they're almost ready to enroll a lot of these treatments. You can see that right here, they're currently in phase 2, and that's why there's always a huge increase in stock price whenever one of these passes their trials. There you simply have a formula for huge returns, and the one they're looking at this week is Sealos Therapeutics. But we can actually get a lot crazier than that, and this one is rated for a 324% upside, meaning an increase of about 100% higher than the last one. And after that, we're actually going to be taking a look at 3 insanely cheap penny stocks that all saw much more gains than that, and they're still cheaper than these. But consider this is probably the last steady, decent stock to invest in this video. The latter part is even more for entertainment purposes only, and definitely should know your risks when you're getting into those stocks. But it's very important that we cover this one because this is the big player next week. So we're talking about Peloton Technologies, not Palantir. That's a whole different thing from last year. No, this stock ticker is actually PTN. It's another stock in the healthcare sector that's a strong buy right now, and recently H.C. Wainwright has covered it. Now, this has been rated by the best analysts on the market. Their average returns range from 12% to 32%. So what that means is that in general, if you buy one of their buy ratings like this, those are the kind of returns you can expect. This one for the stock chart is not that interesting. It's actually following the pattern a lot of other healthcare penny stocks have been following, with this huge peak over in February and then been trading flat ever since. But this one has been showing some signs that it could be breaking out soon, and I'm going to tell you why. So it's a bit of a fresh breath of air as far as these penny stocks go. They're not an oncology stock or anything close to it, actually. Their main treatment is actually called volatile, and it's currently a novel treatment for women with generalized hypoactive sexual desire disorder, or HSDD. Now, I can already see some of you saying, what's the problem? But no, hypoactive is definitely something different than hyperactive. And in Latin actually means underactive, so it's a form of sexual dysfunction for women. And they've just got FDA approval for this, which is by far the biggest step in any biotech company, and it's where a lot of them actually fail. So the fact that the stock price hasn't reacted to this yet could be very promising, and a lot of analysts have seen this because they're seeking to sell this all around the world. And hey, if it's actually FDA approved, must be good. So there's some huge returns on the table, and that's why these price targets are so much higher, and it's definitely something to watch next week. But it's time to get a little bit crazy. We're looking at the top 3 gainers from last Friday that are likely going to see some kind of crazy momentum when the market opens up on Monday. So you're going to want to watch out for these penny stocks. First off, I'm feeling very obligated to talk about Carver Bancorp. Their stock ticker is CARV, and we talked about it on Thursday. That just so happened to be the day that this stock started going from $10 all the way up to $26.50. And on Friday, it even reached highs of $40, which is absolutely insane. Now, there's actually some news about this. Something pretty huge came out about the stock, and when we talked about it, we didn't know what was going on because we always cover these things first. So here's the deal, okay? This is one of the most shorted stocks out there right now, and people are absolutely furious, and they're looking at this as the next short squeeze target. And I didn't know this, but this is one of the largest black-owned financial institutions in the US, and they support a lot of African American communities. And we're getting into an era where individual investors can team up against these hedge funds and actually make a lot of profits. So that's really what's going on with Carver, stock ticker CARV. I just hope it doesn't come crashing down like GameStop did, because one of their largest investors did actually sell a position. Despite that, it's still up like 200-300%. So absolutely crazy. Now let's get into the next big thing. Here we have a company with a market cap of only 10 million. So this is absolutely tiny, even by the standards of this channel where we always talk about OTC penny stocks. This is by all means one of the tiniest. And at the current stock price of basically zero, you can buy 5 shares for 1 cent. And the crazy thing is that it basically already reached that 1 cent mark in February, but it seems like they're starting to go up again, seemingly unbeknownst to me for no reason. And before the close on Friday, they were up 96%. So this one's called Viaspace. Their stock ticker is VSPC, and they create these biomass products, and they call this Giant King Grass. And they're literally using grass as a source of renewable energy. Now, biomass can actually be used as coal and methane for electricity. So a lot of people are looking into this. You actually see huge fields of grass, and they're farming this stuff. And since Joe Biden's inauguration, this could definitely be a green energy stock that could be worth looking at in the next 4 years. It's pretty crazy. I've definitely never heard of anything like this. They're very small, so they're obviously very volatile, and they're prone to these huge spikes. So it might be worth, if you're into OTC companies, to take a look at next week, because it did go up almost 100%. Then getting into our final penny stock of today, this one's another very risky one because there's simply not a lot of information and reports about it because it's based out of Thailand, but we are seeing some of the most insane gains and gaining potential from this stock. So let's get into it, and we're going to speculate why in a little bit as well. Now, they're called NOK Airlines, and their stock ticker is NOKPF. This is simply an airline based out of Thailand. And you know, money is money. It doesn't matter where the stock is from, especially if you consider it's trading at 15 cents right now. And just a few months ago, it was trading above $8. And as of today, the volume is actually starting to pick back up rapidly. I sort of have a feeling that this has something to do with Thailand being one of the first Asian countries to open back up for visitors. Anyways, there has to be something going on because the volume on Friday was up over 40 million. And you know, insider trading does happen a ton on OTC markets. And sometimes because of that, the stock price travels faster than the news. It's worth taking a look at though, because if this goes back up to previous highs, you could be making insane amounts of money. Anyways, if you want to stay up to date on opportunities just like this directly when they come up, be sure you're subscribed. You know, it's free, and we always talk about these things every single day. And with that being said, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.